So thanks, guys, again for joining me. This is Kevin FnaticMSiTTI here for IGN Pro League. We are moving into the game number 2 between FnaticMSiTTI, our green Protoss player here at the 9 o'clock position on GSL Terminus Re. His opponent down here at the 6 o'clock position and currently up 1-0 is ROOTdrewbie, spawning as our red Terran player. Now, Drewbie, in game number 1, did a wonderful job of sending out a late Hellion scout there, was able to look at everything in TT1 space. TT1 had all of his units away, taking out those destructible rocks to establish his gold expansion, wasn't able to do so. Drewbie gets in, sees all these tech structures that are coming up, producing upgrades, so on and so forth, knows that TT1 won't have all that great of an army, pushes in, does a wonderful job with his tanks, and completely kills his opponents. So we'll see what sort of response now TT1 actually has going into game number 2. These are best of 3s, of course. If TT1 were to lose this game, he would go into the losers bracket. And it looks like he is just producing a bunch of probes for the time being. Chrono boosting goes out at the moment and establishing his first gateway. Everything looking pretty standard out of him. Now, Drewbie went after a fast expand, a 1-Rax fast expand last time around. Did leave him a little bit susceptible to pressure. But TT1 opting to just sit back, macro, go for a ridiculously economic build, and try for a ton of upgrades. So TT1, on the other hand, is putting up an assimilator after his gateway, going into his second pylon. Again, everything pretty standard at this point. Drewbie, though, going without gas. So he went after a 1-Rax fast expand the first time. That was with gas and with a reactored barracks. This time around, though, he is bypassing that gas, going right into his orbital command, and he's going to put up a 1-Rax fast expand again, it appears, but this time behind no gas and no reactor whatsoever. So TT1 continuing to chrono boost out a bunch of probes, and oh my, early second gas now. Cybernetic score coming up. So this is going to be a very gas-intensive build. Now, of course, TT1, as I mentioned before, went for a very, very economic build centered around a lot of upgrades, but he did get that second gas relatively late. He went for 2-gate robo build last time around. This gas is a lot quicker, so maybe this will be used for units, higher tech units, rather than necessarily upgrades. There's the second gateway. Drewbie does see that. Nothing terribly out of the ordinary. He himself, on the other hand, is putting up an orbital command. So another command center coming up for ROOTdrewbie. He's going after a second barracks. He's still not gotten himself any gas. This is going to be explicitly unupgraded Marines for quite a while. 2 more barracks are joining on the way now, and this bunker is just about to finish as well. So there's the bunker. Taking a look, TT1 has up 2 gates. And the Chrono Boost is currently being used on probes, so still not being used on Warp Gate technology or anything like that. A lot of resources saved up for TT1, though. He could go right back into a Robo. Could even put down a Twilight Council with the amount of resources that he has. It looks like he may be saving up for an expansion, though. So TT1 has the 400 resources. There's the Nexus. So a 2-gate expand. Not behind any sort of sentries or anything. He has so much gas at the moment. No sentries coming up. Looks like he's going to send out a probe to put down gateway number 3. And this probe is sitting around. Uh-oh, there's gateway number 4, but of course this is coming after the expand. So not exactly a 4 warp gate rush. There's just simply 4 warp gates on the field. Drewbie now with his orbital command over at his expansion. He has a bunker saturated with full Marines. And Drewbie is just continuing to produce multiple Marines. Looks like he is just going to go after a mass Marine, very aggressive economic style. He's about to put down his 3rd base. We're very early into this game, and there is a 3rd base coming out of Drewbie. Now, these unupgraded Marines are cool in a defensive position behind bunkers and things like that. But it's going to be very hard to use them without any sort of stim, without any sort of upgrades against force fields and very fast stalkers. We'll see if they have what it takes. As TT1 is now going ahead, finishing up his Nexus, continuing to produce as many probes as he can, so still going after a pretty economic build. Oh, a 5-gate. A 2-base 5-gate timing push. We'll see if he puts up any forges for upgrades or if he's just going to produce a massive amount, a huge amount of sentries and just try and kill his opponent. And this is going to hurt these unupgraded Marines quite a bit. Tech Lab is finished now for Drewbie, and he has the resources to put up an upgrade, but he's not quite yet. He's not even putting up any Marauders. There we go. There's finally combat shields coming down now. As Drewbie is putting up a supply depot inside of his main, and here we go. Here's a bunch of sentries coming out. A pylon about to finish for TT1 as well. Looks like he's going to catch a few of these forces. There's just too many here, though, for Drewbie. And TT1 is going to be forced back to his reinforcements. He is bringing in so many forces, though. And unfortunately, the Stalker is actually caught. There we go. It is much faster, but it was running into the back of the sentries, not able to actually push its way forward. So FnaticMSiTTI's TT1, he is going to move out now, and my, does he have a pretty big crushing force. Take a look at the army supply now. He is up by 9. That is almost 30% greater than what Drewbie has on the field. His worker supply is a little bit lacking, but of course, he is not worried about that. He is more worried about maintaining this 5-gate timing push. And here comes TT1. There's the Guardian Shield. And there are the force shields going down. Beautiful force shields. He forces all of those units away and completely neutralizes the bunker. The SCVs can't do a thing. The Marines can't even attack. More great force fields going down. TT1 is doing so much damage. He is obliterating this force. He's going to be able to take down this orbital command so quickly. Now the rest of the SCVs finally being brought in. Another Guardian Shield goes down. SCVs falling all over the place, being so abusive with these sentries, with these force shields. And it is a thing of beauty as MSI. TT1 moves in, killing the rest of those Marines. A couple of Marauders up as well, but there's the GG. Drewbie drops game number 2. TT1 evens this up. We will be moving into game number 3 of this best of 3 set between TT1 and Drewbie here at the IPL.